guys, welcome back to my latest video on healthcare, some English vocabulary. Oh, so what is healthcare actually? It is the treatment that you get in some hospital if you are ill or sick. So healthcare, some English vocabulary. So we're going to learn lots of terms, then the definition of that terms. Finally is some example sentence for us to use in daily life. So are you ready for this exciting video? If you're ready, then let's get started. Let's move on to our very first term. And by the way, if you're ready, then sit back, relax, and let's learn together. You don't need any pens or notebooks because if we are learning this way, it's really easy for us to understand, so no need to write anything. We just need a concentrated mind and our eyes. So let's start with the first term, a runny nose. The definition is that a nose that has a lot of liquid coming out of it. For example here, you might sneeze or cough, achoo, or those are sneeze. So what is sneeze? Achoo. That is sneeze, and a cough is yes, cough and sneeze. So when you cough and sneeze, you definitely have a runny nose, right? So here's the runny nose. A runny nose, inside your nose has some kind of liquid, and there's so many liquid in your nose that you have to use tissue to get rid of them, right? So a runny nose. I hate runny nose. So an example will be Diane always has a runny nose whenever she goes outside. Because when, like, for example, the weather outside is so cold, she didn't wear any coat, of course, she'll get a runny nose. The next term is health hazard. Health hazard. So hazard, like, forget the word health, but the word hazard is used to tell others about the weather. So when we put these words together, what will they mean? Health hazard, the definition would be something which is dangerous or a health risk. It's really dangerous. For example, you have cancer and you only survive for 3 more days. So that is health hazard. An example would be the chemicals they use are a health hazard. The chemical, like their cancer, so bad that chemicals can't cure the cancer. So that's it, health hazard. Move on, we have drip. The next term, drip. So drip sounds like a short word, right? But the meaning is so useful. You can see through this picture. So what do you think this is? For the definition, it is short for intravenous drip, a device for administering a fluid drop by drop into a vein via an intravenous IV route. So when we read this definition, it may sound like we can't understand it if you are just a beginner. And if you are like, your English is on the up level, then you can definitely understand this definition. But if you are just a beginner, here is actually like an easier definition for you to understand. Well, drip simply means like this bottle that often hangs in the end of your bed in a hospital. And if you are lost of water or lost for blood, then this kind of like, I can call it bottle will take the blood from other people or take the water and drop it into your body. So yeah, you'll be healthier. That's it. Really easy, right? If you're just a beginner, then I think you'll understand what I said. And if you are like, your English is on the up level, then you can read this definition just fine. So here, an example. Can you change the patient's drip, please? I think that at least when you are sick, you need many water, and 3 bottles is enough, 3 of this. But like, if the first one is over, you have to change the drip, right? So that's why the patient or the nurse said that, can you change the patient's drip, please? The next term would be a chesty cough, a term. A chesty cough, when we said chest or chesty, it means our chest over here. And cough is really bad, yeah, cough. So a chesty cough simply means that the definition is a cough caused by congestion around the lungs. Congestion, like when you have a heart attack or the chest attack and you cough and you can't stop the coughing. Or for another not very serious condition, when you are eating some food and that food gets stuck to your throat then you will have a chesty cough, always cough. So an example will be Diane is suffering from a chesty cough at the moment. She is suffering from it. Suffer seems like a good word. So why don't we learn another word, suffer, even though it's not a term in this video, but here on the screen it is saying suffering. So suffer, like she has, simply means like Diane has a chesty cough, just like that. But if you want your English on the up level, then you can say this sentence. Diane is suffering from etc. From what kind of disease, condition. So, is suffering from is a great phrase. You should use that when you want to say to other people that you are suffering from something. Another word would be chill. Here, wait a moment. Chill. It's a term. Chill, the definition is really easy. A feeling of coldness. When you're really cold, you can call that, I'm chill. Maybe she said, I'm very cold. But if you want your English, like I said, if you want your English on the up level, then you can say, I'm chill. Or I'm very cold for a beginner, but for you not a beginner, if you're not a beginner that watched my video, then said, I'm chill. And for the example, Diane caught a chill when he was out, like Daniel. Daniel caught a chill when he was out in the snow. And another word would be cardiologist. Cardiologist, another term. Cardiologist is a kind of doctor. Cardiologist. The definition would be a specialist of the heart and heart activity. So, this kind of doctor called cardiologist specialize in heart treatment. Like when you have heart attack or any kind of disease that related to heart, you will need a cardiologist to help you with that. So here's an example. After his heart attack, Niall was under the care of a cardiologist. Under the care seems like a great phrase over here. After his heart attack, specialist in the heart. So heart attack related to heart, right? So we need a cardiologist. Niall was under the care of a cardiologist. That means that the cardiologist take care of Niall. Under the care means take care. And if you want to know more doctor types, cardiologist is a type of doctor. If you want to know more about doctor, there are many kinds of doctor, radiologist, dentist, surgeon, neurologist, physician, cardiologist. You can watch my video on Facebook. I have a video about doctor types. So if you want to know more about types of doctors, you can watch my video to know more about it. Then back to the video. We have nervous breakdown. Nervous breakdown, a term. The definition would be the term is something used by people to describe a stressful situation in which are temporarily unable to function normally in day-to-day life. There are many new words like situation, temporarily, unable, function normally, so many new words. So I think that this definition is just for your English is on the up level, but if you are a beginner, then I have another definition to share. It simply means that nervous breakdown is when you are the moment that you are really, really stressful. That's it. Nervous breakdown. For example, for the last couple of months, you have been really, really stressful. So the moment that you are stressful. And the example would be after the death of her son, Vicky had a nervous breakdown. After the death, her son dead, and Vicky, she's so sad that she is so stressed. She's on a nervous breakdown. Okay, and move on to our next term would be relax. The definition is the return of an illness. Simple, right? For example, I have cancer, and for a couple of months ago, I started feeling really well. It means I still have cancer, but I don't feel that I have cancer. And then today, suddenly cancer goes back to me. So the return of the illness. And the example would be the doctors thought David had recovered, but he suffered a relapse and is now sick again. So at first, the doctors think that David is recovered. He can go back to his home. But now he suffered a relapse. His illness returned again, and yeah, he has to come to the hospital. Really sad. So here is our example, many examples. You can make your easy to difficult example as well, so that you can use these words in daily life. Like when you learn a word and you make an example, it really helps you to memorize the word real quick. Next term would be here, cure, a term, cure. This word is quite tricky, although it's just a small word, cure. Even though I can't say it correctly, cure, like that. So the definition is a medicine or therapy that removes disease completely or relieves pain and symptoms. Or usually an easier definition would be the cure. For example, you have COVID. COVID have vaccine, right? So vaccine is the cure of COVID or cancer. Now we have vaccine for cancer. So vaccine for cancer is the cure for cancer. An example would be scientists are trying to find a cure for cancer. We have a really interesting phrase over here, aches and pains. So let's learn each word, aches. For example, backache. Aches is your hurting part. Your hurting part. I hurt this handache, or I hurt my leg, or I hurt my back. So we said backache. And here, pain is really painful. If you have some blood in your hand, it bleeds, your hand is really painful. So aches and pain. The definition would be minor pains that continue over a period of time. For the past few months, I'm aches and pains. That's one example. And on screen, we have another example. The patient has had some aches and pain in her stomach for a few days. She has stomachache and she feels painful, like that. Here we have a kind of medical instrumental instrument. We don't use the word instrument, but a medical thing that we use in a hospital, which is really useful for a doctor to use. Stethoscope. Stethoscope. As you look in the picture here, you definitely know this, but you don't know what's it called, right? So, the definition is a medical instrument. Yeah, a medical instrument for listening to the action of someone's heart or breathing. To the doctor, they usually wear this stethoscope by their ear, and they use this kind of medical instrument to listen to other people's heart. So an example, I will examine the patient with my stethoscope. Examine, they will check the patient's heart, if it's well or not. So here, ambulatory, a next term. Ambulatory, definition is describe something relating to or adapted for walking. If you are not able to walk, the doctors, scientists are trying to find a way so that you can walk again. So ambulatory. For example, his treatment is focused on his ambulatory function. He has some kind of condition with his leg. So the doctors are trying to find ambulatory, some kind of medicine for, or some kind of medical instrument for his leg. And here we have NHS, the next term. NHS. NHS. What is NHS written for? So it's actually a short phrase for National Health Service, the famous public safety well-funded British healthcare system, which was founded in 1948. It is like, an organization, like a healthcare organization that is National Health Service, really famous until today. So for example, the NHS is having difficulty recruiting staff since Brexit. So they are lost of staff. They want to find more staff so that they can help with the patient more. If the organization just have 10 or 12 people, nothing can do with the patient because there are thousands of patients today. You don't know every day there are lots of patients which you will never know. And here, alleviate, a term. Definition is to make suffering, a efficiency or a problem less severe. So it's really easy. When you have a disease, you want to make it less severe, less painful. So for example, the nurse was able to alleviate his pain when she gave him the medication. So the medication, which the doctor or scientist found out, helped the patient. Responsive term, which is a really good word in the disease industry. Definition: reacting quickly and positively, and the ability to respond to a stimulus or a symptom. When you have some kind of sickness, and then for a few days you take some medication, you work out a lot, so responsive. You have responsive real quick. For example, Claire is becoming more responsive since she received her treatment. Her treatment really helps her, so she has become more responsive. Here, Medicaid, a term, Medicaid. The definition of Medicaid is the United States is a federal and state program that helps with healthcare costs for some people with limited income and resources. Sounds good, right? A really good word, Medicaid. So she is on Medicaid, which helps pay for her asthma medication. Ooh! So the United States is a really rich country, and when she has asthma, which is a really rare condition and really dangerous condition as well. So the hospital or the president or any kind of people that work in the economy industry will help her pay with her asthma medication. And backache, simply a prolonged pain in the back or spine. Here's your back, right? And you really hurt your back. So you call that a backache. Instead of saying that I hurt my back, you can say I have a backache. So for example, I have been suffering with a backache for the past 2 weeks. So again, is suffering from or have been suffering with, really good word, right? So we can use the word suffer. And in here we have crouch. Crouch, yeah, crouch. Quite a French word, pronounced quite French, but it's an English word. Crouch, a term, an example, and definition. So the definition is a long stick. Here is a long stick with a cross piece at the top, used as the support under the armpit by a person with an injury or disability. So you often use the armpit when you break your leg. So for example, here Mary is on crutches since she broke her hip bone. So her hip bone, that means that she can't walk anymore. She can walk, but she needs a crutch to help her with a few days. So here you can see that have your arm and you hold this and you walk really funny. Therapy, a definition, is treatment intended to relieve or heal a disorder. So therapy, which is a treatment which really good that can help you cure your disease real quick. So for example, her physical therapy will help her regain her stamina. Stamina is a kind of condition. It's quite dangerous, I think. And here is our last term of today, as fit as a fiddle. As fit as a fiddle, simply, I think it's an idiom, not a term. As fit as a fiddle. So my grandfather recovered from his illness and is now as fit as a fiddle. So don't look at the definition just yet, but when you look at the example, as fit as a fiddle, that means like her grandfather is now really healthy and really strong. So a phrase meaning in good physical condition. Very healthy and strong, yeah, like I said, so healthy. So if you want to describe someone that they are really healthy and strong, don't use the word healthy and strong if you watch my video. Use the word as fit as a fiddle. And that leads us to the end of today's video. If you want to learn more, then just watch my video. Bye!